It's good to see you guys. Since the end of spring, we've finished with our finals. Our team GPA, I think, ended up being a 302 for the whole team, which is the second highest, I want to say, in Baylor football history, after the fall 2021, semester GPA. So way proud of that. A lot of freshmen and everything that were involved in that, and we're a big piece of that. And so I think it's a great kind of foundation for what we can do this summer and what we can accomplish in the fall. I think the detail and the discipline it takes to do things when you don't feel like it are one of the things that are expressed in academic success. So excited about that. We got 15 guys here reporting on Saturday, so excited for that. Get them into the mix and in with our family, and then starting summer. Summer's such a busy time. Not only with we have lifting and running, and we've got football school, so we've got drills and conditioning drills, and then time in the classroom to teach, summer camps, official visits, all of it. But it's funny because I was talking to one of the coaches, is if we could start with like a storyboard, if we were to write a short movie script or storyboard, it would start. Scene one would be, here's a kid that thinks he's somebody, and he's got a skill that separates him from other people, and then storyboard number 2 or page number 2 would be, here he is getting into a new place, doesn't know anybody, wants to prove himself, find some mentors, some people that can help him. Can he trust them? Page 3 would be, here's some adversity, trials and tribulations, right? Page 4 would be, here he is in a pit, all the way down, beaten and broken, and what he thought he knew, he doesn't know. And then, page 5 would be, here he is now on a rise, kind of a transformation. Here's somebody that's sees sport as something he can express who he really is. And so that whole thing's exciting to get into that and start again with a new group. But wanted to be able to have this time with you guys prior, before we take any questions, because I know that there's the summer kind of talking tour is about to start. I think it actually starts tonight, and I'm sure with all of that there's going to be things that are going to come out that I have to imagine you guys have an interest in. And so wanted to be able to holler at you guys prior to any of that. So I appreciate you guys being here. But questions?
Dave, I guess it's kind of obvious, but have you decided on the starting quarterback?
We have, yeah. We had a talk with both Blake and Sawyer, I think, the week after the spring game, and so we named Blake the starter. And I had a really good talk with Sawyer and Blake at that time. And, the reasons for all of that, twofold. One is I thought, Sawyer really progressed and got better at the end of spring. I think things settled down for him and everything. And I have to imagine he's going to continue to get better. And so, in talking with Sawyer, it's like, hey, man, way impressed with you. Your future here is really bright. Hey, it's a big old thing. Just take it one step at a time and keep your head down. You're going to be great. With Blake, like, his consistency and his overall improvement was way impressive. And then his leadership and the growth there was impressive. And, I'd have to, from y'all's perspective, I can see in that spring game where it probably, could have been this or could have been that. I think overall, the spring with Blake was really good. And his leadership was much improved. And so, I think he earned it, would be one. And two would be, I think moving into the summer and just kind of into fall camp is that we want to help solidify with Blake that, hey, this is your team. You've done all the work, you've earned it. We just talked about kind of being in a pit and kind of rising up. And I think that's the whole thing. I think, for me, I mean, how many times has that been me, And then you look at our players, and when guys are in that position, to give them the opportunity to climb out that thing and be the new them. And I think that's what Blake's doing, and I'm way proud of him. And so want to give him the stage to be able to assert himself completely. He's the guy. It's his team. Take us into summer and fall. Give us the best shot to start it off. So excited for that. I thought talk with all of them both went well. And talking to Sawyer, I guess, hey, how you feel with all of it? And he goes, Coach, I love Baylor. It's where I want to be. You're going to continue to see me get better. And we all knew that, that's the case. And I'm sure that we will see him continue to get better.
So, Dave, where is he on the storyboard?
Same way. Yeah, same way. I think for his growth, his growth is going to come on the game continuing to slow down for Sawyer, and to take ownership of of a consistency and of a knowledge base to where there'd be times at the end, or in the middle of spring, towards the end of spring, where there'd be we have a couple guys in the backfield, and it's like, okay, who's on first? It's okay. Do you know who's on first right now? And so I think to grow out of that space and to be able to say, hey man, this is kind of where it's at. This is what we're doing. This is why we're calling it. This is what the expectation is. And those are all things I know he's been working overtime to get to that spot. I think it's just a matter of time. So future's bright for him.
Garmin Randolph didn't play in spring. What's his status with the team right now?
Garmin's suspended. Yeah, so off the field issue, and so we're hoping to have that kind of cleared up here soon. But I think it's unfortunate, and it's something that I hope is taken as a learning experience. I know I am taking it that way. And so I'm hopeful that that's how it's taken with him.
You mentioned the 15 newcomers. Is that a combination of transfers and freshmen? Can you kind of break down the group that will be coming in?
Yeah, so, transfer-wise, we've got a few here just recently that we're working on getting cleared. I think of the, there's 3 potentials, 2 are cleared right now. And then we've got some freshmen that are coming in that wanted to finish out the semester, at school, and so they just graduated everything, and so they're going straight from graduation to heading down this way. And then we've got a few walk-ons that are prefer guys and stuff that are going to show up as well. And so, I think we're going to be right at our allotment for the number that we can have, and so excited for that we've got just a full group, and that. They're one of the things I'm most, if I allow myself, one of the things that I'm proud of and pleased for is that people are coming. The folks that are choosing to come to Baylor right now is because of what Baylor is, and how they see, how they see Christian faith, how they see, the importance of education, how they see. Hey, we want to win championships. We want to win this way, doing it this way. And there's guys that are coming because of that. Or I think maybe in the past there'd be times where I'd be trying to explain, hey, this is kind of why we want to do it this way. And so now they're coming now because of it. And that's just a way cool thing. And I think it's very much illustrated in the group that's coming here in a couple days.
Dave, I can't remember if it was Grimes or one of the other coaches, but they talked about it's rare when you hit on just about everything. And they were talking about the transfers. Did you feel like you got, particularly what you've seen so far, that pretty much all those guys were hits? Yeah,
we got a couple of them on like the dean's list, they're 4.0s. So, and then they're great players. They're starters right now, they're leaders. So I think that ties in with the previous comment. I just think, I mean, and when it's transfer, it's happened so fast. So, kid enters the transfer portal that night. He's got 15 or 20 offers, and then you don't know how much of this stuff's kind of been, in the weeds and all of it prior to that. Which usually, if that's the case, it's already done. But and so there's always the push to go fast, hurry, do this, do that. And so while we ascribe to that somewhat, and I feel like you have to, there is an element where they sit down with me and they kind of go through all this stuff with Baylor, and that could turn some folks away, And so for the guys that kind of turn to it, I think says everything, because that's the guy that we want. And so, there's enough dudes out there where you can get the ones that fit, and I feel like we have to this point. So,
Dave, Byron Bonds, I believe he signed up. Yeah. What's he going to add to the team?
pass rush. Yeah, I think I think when you look at the 3-4, there's the jack on this side of it. There's the will linebacker in the middle of it. There's the nose in the middle of it. I guess you could look at those two maybe as one guy or one element, I guess. And then there's the star on the other side. And so with the star and the jack, on or near the line of scrimmage with a 3 down lineman, that's 5 guys. Offense has got 5 guys to block those 5 guys. So how do they do it? If the jack is a legitimate pass rusher and can win a one-on-one, they'll slide the protection to the jack, which now allows the star to win a one-on-one versus a running back. And Jalen a couple years ago showed how that looks. If the jack is a rusher and the star is a rusher, then they have to block, those 5 have to block our 5, which now opens it up for either the nose to win a one-on-one on the center, or the will to rush and get a one-on-one on the running back. And so, you have all of these are 4-man rushes, and so, you can play your coverages with the 7 guys, whatever you want. But the essence of the 3-4 is who's the 4th rusher. And if you could do that in a way that ties in with attacking their weakness or their lack of numbers, the better it is for us. And I think, it starts with the jack rush. And so Byron gives us that. And he's also got great, he's got a great heart, great enthusiasm, very energetic. I think there's some, there's an edge that he's going to bring to us that I feel like we need.
Dave's the first year 2-7, then 12-2, the great run, and then last year didn't finish well. Who are you among those 3 years? What do you expect from you in year 4?
Yeah, all of it. I think keep growing, all of it. Yeah, I think there's a lot of learning and growth in all of those years, and so there's. I think just standing here in front of you guys now from 2020, and what was that, Zoom, I guess, just so different now than then. And so, I think to know better and to be humble at the same time and to be hungry for more improvement is who I would say I would be.
You mentioned that maybe some guys pushed the envelope last year's team.
Uh-huh.
Have you seen anybody try to do that with you this spring?
No. Yeah, I think, so last year, and I know this is, so last year with the discipline and all of it, I think what I did not do was, and it's funny because some of these things may be just selective just to us. I think, and, I've been on other teams where some of these things we're talking about would not have even been noticed by coaches or not even thought of as a thing, right? And these are all just kind of personal discipline, kind of, attention to school or how we practice. And so these are things that are important to me and to us, and maybe to some other places are not even thought of that way or not even noticed, And so I think the fit's a way important thing. That's why bringing in people that kind of fit all of it and can see it is way important, because if you come in and you're kind of this way, and there's other folks that signed up for something else, and it's like, I didn't sign up for this, you know? And so I think the everyone is kind of, I think we've talked about it before, where everyone's seen, hey, if you go this way, this is kind of what comes. If you go that way, we know where that road leads. If you just look at the last 2 years. And I think, just the GPA and just all of I think, we have a Baylor standard, so there's weight room, there's character, there's academic excellence, and we've more than doubled that standard, guys that have excelled on all three, which is a way cool thing. And so the challenge with us is to do all of that and win, to do that and win, to not do one and the other, which I think is maybe the other way that maybe some kids signed up for, or maybe some kids want to do. So we want to be able to win, but do all of it and have excellence in all of it. And it's hard to do now, especially nowadays. People see, I don't know if it's as, I don't think it probably ever was a sexy thing, but it sure ain't now,
Dave, y'all lost a lot of guys at the safety position, specifically older guys, and then you have a lot of young guys currently in the room. What have you seen from that group that gives you optimism and also made you not really address that position in the transfer portal?
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think I think both Devin Lemire and Devin Bobby both bring kind of a coach-player view to that group, and so they are very studious and can talk it and get the guys lined up and have a awareness of, hey, we're in this, and it's because we're expecting that, and here's what's going to happen, and here's the strength and weakness of our call. They're very much attuned to that. And so I think you have that, and for Devin Bobby to be able to take an extra step with Devin Lemire not being able to practice, I think is going to end up being a positive, just the growth that he had in it. But then you got Corey Gordon, who's got like all of the, and both Lemire and Bobby have excellent athleticism and skill and all of it. But then you've got Corey Gordon that is really talented and just blessed with athleticism, and that can do all the things. And I think his ability, our investment in him continually, I think is going to bring out the best of him. And is one of the things we talk about the transfer portal is that, as difficult as it is, and we for sure have done it here, is it's hard to talk about a team and development and do all the things because when you say yes to something that's outside, you're saying no to something that's inside. And how does that mesh with we're a team, we're developing you, and so I think whereas last year kind of was on the either or, we're trying to be yes and this way and try to handle it all in a professional way, in a humane way, which is hard to do. But I think not doing the transfer portal on the safety thing is because I think that we can say yes to the people that are there because the investment in them, the talent is there. And so excited for that.
Dave, do you think Baylor's ready to play in the NIL landscape? Is this school prepared to do what it has to do? Do you see that yet?
I do. I think it is getting better. I think from where it, I think my philosophy on that is to be in it, and I feel like we're in it, and I feel like when kids come, that is something they bring up, and they want to know what is it can be done, and when we give them kind of our talk and say this is what it is, I think it is a piece of the puzzle for them with the faith, and the education and just how they're going to be treated and how, that kind of that hero's journey we talked about. I think those are probably the main pieces of the pie. And then there is the NIL piece, which is a critical one, Now, I believe that piece is getting bigger, And so like our ability to kind of grow with that piece, I think for all of us, I'll go this far, as speaking for me, but also for all of us, we just don't want the whole pie to be that. And I feel like that is the case in some other spots. And so for us to be us, I think to keep it a piece and stay in it is we're on track to do that.
Do you like it to be equitable across the board with players? Like, what's your personal philosophy on the NIL?
Yeah, that's a good question. That kind of speaks to the heart of the matter. I know that I've talked with some coaches this off season that talk about it. Whereas if you're an All-American or multiple All-Conference, or if you're a first or second round draft pick, you're getting this much money. That would be a tier. And then if you're a starter, if you're not on any of the good lists, if you're on all the good, if not on any of the bad lists, but you're on the good list, maybe you're on a poster on I-35 trying to get people to come to the games, you're on tier 2. Then tier 3 would be, hey, you're on the team, you don't embarrass the team, here's a little something for you to be on the team. And I just think, if you do it that way, I wonder, what does that do for team chemistry? What does that do for, frankly, I don't think we have anyone in tier 1 anyways, And so I don't know what that does for, who's making the decisions, who's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, right? What's the organization for communicating that to the players and their families? And, if it is truly person over player, how does that play into, hey, this player makes more money than this other player, and, I could do that, but you're not giving me the opportunity. And I don't know, I just think it's a disruptor, I feel, and I don't know if it necessarily needs to go that path. And so I look at it more as here's something that everyone on the team gets, and we're able to kind of build from there. And so, but that's a good one. It's becoming more and more of a topic, because I have to imagine doing it in the tier way is possibly a less expensive way.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you all.